Hey guys, today's video is going to be another multiple dinners recipe video. You guys said you really liked the last one, so I was really excited to make another one. Hope that you enjoy the video. If you do, remember, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Always remember, I'm going to say this multiple times in the video, in the description box below are the links to the recipes. Make sure you check those out for exact measurements and instructions. Tonight's recipe is a cheesy sour cream smothered chicken. That's, I believe, what it's called. Again, the recipe will be in the description box below. So what you're going to need is, it said 4 chicken breasts in the recipe, but I have one regular size and like a really big one. So I'm going to be using these 2 chicken breasts. You're going to need some Parmesan cheese, some sliced mozzarella cheese, olive oil, but that's just to put into your baking dish. Some sour cream. You can use regular. I have light. You're going to need a little bit of cornstarch, some parsley, garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, and salt. That's what you're going to need. Oh, and I'm also going to probably throw in a little bit of cheddar cheese. Or I'm sorry, you can also throw in some cheddar cheese if you want to use that. You can change the recipe however you want, but it's in the description box below so you can see all the measurements and everything. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on a paper towel and kind of coat the bottom of my pan. Okay, so once you're just going to coat the bottom of it. I don't know if you guys can see that. Next, you're going to take your sour cream, Parmesan cheese, and cornstarch and mix it together. I believe it's a cup of sour cream, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. You're going to mix those together in a bowl. Again, make sure you go to the recipe in the description box for the exact measurements, because as I'm saying it, I may not remember it. So, yeah. So anyways, you're going to mix those things into a bowl together with your seasonings as well. So I'm going to take my sour cream. I'm going to put that in the bowl, as well as my Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add seasonings, and I'm going to go ahead and mix all of this together. I don't know if I said it or not, but you should have preheated your oven to 375. So it's going to look like that, kind of like a ranch. We're going to just move this over to the side to get our dish, and we're going to lay our chicken breasts, just lay them in the dish. While I place these in here, I'm going to just give them a little pat to dry them off. So I have 3 chicken breasts in my pan. So next, what you're going to do is you're going to top each one with a slice of cheese. But before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit more seasoning to each of my chicken breasts. I'm going to do a little bit of each one. I'm going to use 2 pieces of mozzarella on each of my pieces of chicken because we like cheese. I got a phone call. Hopefully you guys can still see this. Okay. Next, we're going to take our mixture that we mixed together, and we're going to cover the chicken breast with it. Now this, you're going to cover the cheese with it. So, do it the best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's all going to melt anyways. So you're just going to take it and cover the cheese with the mixture. That's what you're going to do. Get you a spoonful of it, drop it on there. Use the back of your spoon to just smooth it out the best you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. You're going to cook this, so it's going to melt. So I use all of my mixture. I smothered them. I covered everything. I want them to be covered great. So next, you're going to take your remaining Parmesan cheese and sprinkle that on top of your chicken, and then add your parsley. Your parsley's, really for like eye candy. I'm just gonna cover it. And again, you can use as much or as little cheese as you want, but if you're following the recipe, you'd be using your remaining cheese at this point. All right, we're gonna add our dried parsley flakes. That's what it looks like. Now we're going to put them in our oven, again, at 375. We're going to let them cook for an hour. Okay? It says an hour in the recipe. You can check them however you'd like, but I'm going to let them cook for an hour like the recipe says. I'm going to be serving mine with rice as well as probably, I don't know, I got to find a veggie, whatever we have in the house. So I'll show you that when it's done. But let me go ahead and stick them in the oven. This is what it looks like right out of the oven. It was actually in there for about 45 minutes. I'm about to use my thermometer and I'm going to check and make sure it's at 165. That's what chicken should be at if you didn't know. So I'm going to check it and see if it's done and I'll let you know. Okay, so it's at it's above 165. So it's all done. I'm serving it with some rice and green beans and I'll show you the plate once I have it on there, but it is looking delicious. And here is Gregory's plate. It looks so good. That's the chicken over the rice. It looks amazing. Okay, so tonight's dinner, I have been very excited to try to make. It looks so good. Again, it's a Pinterest recipe. It'll be in the description box. This is called taco tortellini. So when you look at the recipe, it says it's an Instant Pot recipe. But if you scroll down to the recipe card underneath that, it'll give you the stovetop directions. So it's going to be, you could probably do it all in one pot, but I do want to put it in the oven afterwards. So just so I can like get the top crispy. Anyways, what you're going to need: a pound of ground beef, beef broth, taco seasoning, minced garlic, cheddar cheese or any cheese you want, diced tomatoes. I got the kind with green chilies. I believe it said 18 to 20 ounces. I only have a 10-ounce can, so I'm going to make that work. And then a bag of tortellini. You can use the frozen or the refrigerated kind, whatever you want. I have the frozen. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and brown your ground beef. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Oh, and you'll need seasonings. I believe it's like onion powder, garlic powder, whatever seasonings you want to put. I'll show you what I'm putting when I do mine. But first I'm going to go ahead and just brown my ground beef, so that's done. So something else you want to do while you are cooking your ground beef, you want to get a pot of water so you can get that boiling. So while you're doing this, you can get your tortellini cooked because you're going to add that to it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll get our water boiling and we're going to cook. And you're just going to cook your tortellini according to whatever package instructions you have. These say you put it in a pot of boiling water for 3 minutes. So very easy if you've never used it. So whatever, yours say to do. But I'm going to go ahead and finish browning this up and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so fun fact, we'll put that back in the container. If you're doing the stovetop method, you are not going to need beef broth. You're only going to need beef broth if you are doing the Instant Pot. But since we're not doing the Instant Pot, I don't need the beef broth. So anyway, so my ground beef is browned. So next we're going to add our taco seasoning, our tomatoes, our garlic, and then whatever seasonings you want to add. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so far I have my minced garlic, my can of tomatoes, and my taco seasoning. And the remaining, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. I know you think I don't need it because I have minced garlic, but I'm adding it. I'm also going to add a good amount of onion powder because I'm not putting any onions. And then I'm also going to add, this is totally up to you, but I'm going to add a little bit of crushed red pepper. because why not? Okay, so add it to your liking, and we're gonna mix it all together. Gonna give it a good mix. You wanna get everything mixed evenly. That looks delicious. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and put our tortellini in the pot and let that boil. And when it's done, we'll come back. Okay, I went ahead and added a little bit of the beef broth because it was looking kind of dry. That's just what I chose to do. You can see not much. I mean, there was a cup in there, so I used barely any. And then my tortellini's in, waiting for that to boil. And I'm gonna go ahead and shred 2 cups of cheese. This is the cheese shredder that I use. See, it has this piece that slides in to keep it. And then you can shred it, whatever's easier for you. Stand it up, and it has the measurements. You can lay it down, whatever works. So I'm gonna go ahead and shred up 2 cups of cheddar cheese. Okay, once the tortellini's done, you're gonna drain it, and then we're gonna put it in the pot with the beef mixture. Okay, add your tortellini to your pot. We're gonna give it a mix. And then we're gonna add half of our cheese. So if you're using 2 cups like the recipe says, you're going to add in a cup of cheese, and you're gonna give this a mix. Okay, so now I'm mixing my cheese in. I'm gonna get it all mixed together, and just be careful when you're mixing it so you don't smash your tortellini up. All right, once you get it all mixed together, you're gonna transfer it to a baking dish. You can do a 13 by 9, but I think this will actually fit in my small square one. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer that. So give me just a minute and we'll be back. Okay, so next we're gonna take the rest of that cheese that we had left, and we're gonna just put it on top. You know what would have been good on this is some jalapenos or some diced chilies, but I didn't do that. But when I serve it, you can top it with a little bit of sour cream, or you could put some pickled jalapenos or fresh jalapenos if you like. So then once we get all the cheese on it, we're going to then pop it under the broiler for about 5 minutes. Just watch it, 3 to 5 minutes, just so it can get brown and melty, because your pasta down here is already cooked. So we're just going to get this to melt under the broiler. So let me go ahead and finish putting this little bit of cheese on it, and then we'll pop it in the broiler and I'll show you. Okay, so this is fresh out of the oven. I broiled it on my high broiler for 5 minutes. And it's looking so good. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on a plate, and I'll show you what it looks like on the plate. Okay, so this is Greg's. He doesn't want anything on it than what comes on it, but you could always add some salsa if you wanted, sour cream, jalapenos, whatever you want to add to it, because it is like a taco based. But that's what it looks like. It smells amazing, and I cannot wait to give it a try. I'll let you know how good it is at the end. Okay, so this is mine. I added some jalapenos, but I'm going to try it without the jalapenos to tell you guys what I think. Oh, this is good. Very taco-y. So if you like tacos, I think you're going to love it. Delicious. Highly recommend. Okay, so for tonight's dinner, it's kind of like when we did the Mississippi chicken. Except I'm gonna do like the beef. So I have some lean stew beef that's already been cut up. I bought that from the grocery store. You're also gonna need some butter, some of these pepperoni peppers, beef broth, brown gravy, or ranch. Someone also said that when they do a recipe like this, instead of the brown gravy or the au jus, they do Lipton onion mix. You can do that too, whatever you want. And you're just going to put all of this in your crock pot. This is very simple. So I'm going to go ahead, stick mine in the crock pot. Okay, so my beef is in the crock pot. Now the recipe that's linked in the description box does not call for beef broth, but I'm going to pour some in there because I want it to have a good amount of liquid, because I'm going to be serving it over rice. So I poured about that much in there. I don't know how much that is. Maybe half a cup. Maybe a little less than that. And next we're going to add our brown gravy seasoning. Okay, and you're just going to pour that right on top of it. Next we're going to add our ranch packet. I was looking to see if I had some minced onion, but I don't, so I am going to add just a little bit of onion powder too. Okay. Okay, next we're going to add about 6 to 10 of these peppers. We're just going to take them out and just set them in the crock pot. Once I add about 10 of those, I am going to take a little bit of the juice and pour that in. I like the flavor it adds, so I'm doing that. Next, we're going to take about 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to cut it up and just lay it on top of this. Okay, so the butter is on top, and that's it. Now you're going to cover it. We're going to come down here. We're going to turn it on, and I'm going to do high for 4 hours. And then I can turn it down to low if I need to, but I'm going to start it on high. Okay, it's been actually about 4.5. I automatically went to warm. I'm going to check it now. Oh, that looks yummy. Let me get something to stir it with. Okay, as you can see, the meat is like falling apart. It's very tender. I am going to put it on low for like another hour, and then I'll keep it on warm, and I'll make rice to go with it, and I'll show you once it's done. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I served it over rice. I made some garlic cheddar biscuits and some green beans, and that is what it looks like. Okay, tonight's dinner is super easy, which is what I need because it's 6 o'clock and I'm just getting off work. So this is chicken and stuffing casserole. Basically, like I say before, every recipe in the description box is a link to the exact recipe. Because what I say here, I'm remembering off the top of my head, and I've never made this before. Okay, so make sure you check out the recipe. So you're going to need, I think it said 2 cups of chicken. I just have 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts here that are thawed out. I'm going to cut these up. About 3 cups of mixed vegetables. These are frozen mixed veggies that I got. A box of stuffing, any flavor. I went with turkey because it was that or plain, and I got turkey. Some sour cream, I'm using light, and then a cream of mushroom soup or cream of chicken soup, any cream of soup. And I believe obviously you're gonna need water for your stuffing, and you're gonna make a casserole with it, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is dice up my chicken breast into small pieces. That's the very first step. So first thing I'm going to do is pour my stuffing mix into a bowl and add my hot water, mix it together, and just let it sit. That way it has time to soak in all of the water while I'm doing my other steps. Next, I'm going to take my chicken breasts and I'm just going to cut them up into bite-sized pieces, and then I'm going to cook them on the stove. Now we're going to measure out 3 cups of mixed vegetables. I'm going to put them in a strainer and run some warm water over them to thaw them out. Now we're going to make sure you grease your pan. We're going to add our chicken into the pan as well as our vegetables. Give those a very quick stir. Next, we're going to add our cream of mushroom soup as well as our sour cream, and then we're going to mix this until it's well combined. Don't forget to add your seasonings. I'm going to be adding just a little bit of whatever are my favorites: salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, the regular. Next, we're going to take our stuffing and we're going to just set it on top, cover the top, even it out, and that will be your topping. I decided to spice things up and I added some of these crispy jalapenos as well as a little shredded cheddar cheese to the top. And of course you can change, you can take off or add whatever it is you'd like. Once you get your toppings on, stick her in the oven. This is what it looks like fresh out of the oven. It is bubbling. I'm gonna let it sit for about 5 minutes to kind of cool down, and you know how it'll like thicken up a bit. And then I'll serve it and I'll show you what it looks like on the plate. This is what it looks like. It was so delicious and it made amazing leftovers. So guys, that was this week's dinner video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know the dinners were all so delicious. Make sure you comment down below and let me know which recipe you think was your favorite or one that you'd like to try the most. Remember also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. I would love for you to join friends and family here on YouTube. Give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.